Now, for almost 50 years, Sir Paul McCartney has been blamed for breaking up the Beatles. But in a new BBC interview, he said the split was actually initiated by John Lennon. Here's more from our music correspondent, Mark Savage.
Sir Paul has been shouldering the blame for breaking up the Beatles since 1970, and there's two reasons for that. First of all, he was the first person to acknowledge that the band were on a break in a press release for his debut album, which came out that year. And in that, he said that he couldn't foresee a time when he would ever work with John Lennon again. And then later that year, he sued the rest of the band to dissolve their business relationship. So really, since then, fans and scholars have assumed that it was Sir Paul who instigated the breakup of the Beatles. But in a new interview for Radio 4's This Cultural Life programme, he said that's not the case.
I'm not the person who instigated the split.
You brought the lawyers in there, didn't you?
Oh, no. John walked into the room one day and said, I'm leaving the Beatles. And he said, it's quite thrilling. It's rather like a divorce. And then we were left to pick up the pieces. But I didn't instigate the split. That was our Johnny.
So Sir Paul went on to say in the interview that John Lennon wanted to spend more time with Yoko Ono and staging his famous peace protests, and certainly we know that John missed the last ever full recording session of the Beatles in 1970 because he was on holiday with Yoko. But the interesting thing that came at the end of this interview is that Sir Paul said that if John hadn't walked away, then the Beatles would have continued to make albums.